Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Very Vinyl Podcast. My name is Joe Marquez, and I'm going to be your host today. Now, we have had a blast the last few weeks going over some of my picks of some albums that you need to listen to. Now, I want you to understand, the albums that I picked, it doesn't mean the album is the best album ever. It means, it resonates with myself. It may not resonate with you, right? And that's the great thing about music. It's that, there might be a song or two on an album that truly resonates with you, and it makes that album worth it to listen to. And I also want to make sure that you are hearing some of the tracks from these albums that you may not hear like on the radio or on like a Sirius XM channel. I'm playing some tracks that you may not hear unless you listen to the entirety of the album. And some of these tracks may not actually really, give you a full picture of what the entirety of the band is. But I just love to share these tracks with you. Now, today we're going to go over three bands, and you may be thinking, well, is this a pop punk episode? Kind of. But these bands, they veer off the pop punk every once in a while. They go into emo, or they go into hardcore, or they go into post-hard. They ebb and flow. Right? So the first band of the past we're going to go over is With Confidence, a great band out of Australia. And then presently, one of the albums that I have on constant rotation on my turntable is Anxious Little Greenhouse. You have to listen to this album. And, I picked this one for the future because I picked these last week. And you know what? Lo and behold, Knuckle Puck released this week Disposable Life, their EP. So the future is now, really, for this one, because it's available. Finally, after being postponed month after month after month. It was supposed to be released in February, but it is finally here. So the future is now. So let's go ahead and go over some of these albums. So, from the past, With Confidence, their first album, Better Weather. Now, as with a lot of stories that we hear nowadays, With Confidence was formed by a group of friends in a high school, and they started making videos and posted them, guess where? On YouTube, right? YouTube is like the tape trading back in the 80s, or the CD burning back in the 90s, right? And so, to get yourself out there, you got to be on the YouTube or the TikTok or Instagram, and that's what they started doing. And they ended up doing some self-releases of EPs, but they finally got connected with Hopeless Records. Now, I absolutely love this label, Hopeless Records, and here's the album right here, because Hopeless Records, as far as I know, every album I've gotten from Hopeless, they give you a free download, digital download of these tracks. I like that quite a bit. Now, I don't normally go on and use them because, I have my streaming services. So if I'm traveling or working out, I listen to the streaming services instead. But I do love the fact that I can go on and download these and own the digital tracks. So that's pretty cool. And as with a lot of these albums nowadays, there's multiple versions. And so I got this version right here. It's a really cool red-blue swirl. When you hold it up in the light, it's transparent. It's a really cool version of this album. And this album, probably the number one track that you might have heard from this band off of this album is Voldemort. Very catchy, very poppy. But I'm thinking, if people have heard Voldemort, I want you to hear something else. I want you to hear something that takes them to, in my mind, to the next level. And this song that I wanted to play for you is the song Archers, the third song off of this album. So let me go ahead and play it. So without further ado, here is Archers.
I kinda wanted to leave this place I fell in between, 'cause it's a goddamn mess. I guess I got lost in the seams. I kinda wanted to see the places I wanna be, so let this whole thing come undone. It's fucking ordinary. So hold my hand if just for a second. I will be here for all that of a minute. We are the swords and we are the archers.
So I like the tempo. It's fast paced. It very pop punk, but it kind of elevates it a little bit for me. And I always find it funny that even though these individuals come from Australia, you can't tell at all from an accent, right? It's like if you're singing pop punk, you have your own almost accent. A lot of these bands sound very similar. I mean, whether it's state champs or the Wonder Years or what have you, but I like it. I like that tempo. Now, their second album, Love and Loathing, went more ballad, I think. It didn't have that punch for me. But they really came back in 2021 with their self-titled album, With Confidence. They really brought some cool songs to that one. So definitely go and take a listen. Maybe we'll feature that on a future episode. So definitely go and take a look at this album, though. I think it was a really solid release back in 2016. And so from Hopeless Records, I definitely want you to go and take a listen. All right, so what's next? What do we got going on next? Well, next, it's probably one of the most surprising albums that I've listened to in a while. And they're not, I wouldn't call these individuals pop punk. I wouldn't call them emo. I wouldn't call them hardcore. They're all over the place. I mean, they have some melodic songs. There's a song on there at the very end of their album. You When You're Gone. They have a female singer on that one. It's just completely melodic. I mean, it's nuts. It is very, very eclectic. And I like that. Right? I don't think there's any song that sounds the same on this album. I think they did a fantastic job of really showing you what they're all about. Anxious made me anxious to listen to the next song on their album. So they're all over the place. There's something for everybody, and I think you should definitely take a listen to it. And when I'm thinking, oh, what song should I play off of this? Because truly, like, you have to listen to the entire album all the way through so you can get a flavor of what this band is going for. So just picking songs individually and playing them, you don't quite get the full story of Anxious. I'm really excited that I got this. And I missed out on their first pressings. I believe I was reading an article from Brooklyn Vegan, and they said this is definitely an album you want to own. I'd never heard of them before, so I passed it up. But then they had a second pressing that had come out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna definitely pick this up. And the second pressing, I really love this second pressing. It's really cool, butterfly, clear purple and green. Really like it, and I also like the simplicity of the label. Right, so there's two bunnies, that's side 2, and one bunny, that's side 1. I just liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So what song should I pick? That's what I was asking myself. And so I'm gonna play this song called Let Me, because I think it really gives you a flavor kind of all the way through of the different things they're capable of. If we have time, I'm gonna play another one called Your One-Way Street. That's the opening track. If you've never heard them before, that's another one that you should listen to. But without further ado, let's listen to this song called Let Me.
Cry me now. I want to have to say you. I long to finally breathe. A breath, a fresh air. Let's be unfair, let's be okay. You know the pain that this song brings.
song just like bangs. It like smacks you in the face, and they get a little bit melodic towards the middle, and then they come back and smack you. Very emotional, very hardcore, and then emo. I mean, it was great. I mean, it was really cool to hear that for the first time, and I was like, yeah, this album is awesome. It truly is. I'm gonna play one more song for you off this album. You have to listen to it. This is something if you've heard of this band, you probably heard this song. It's the first track off of the album, and this one is called "Your One Way Street." So, without further ado, "Your One Way Street" again by Anxious and their album "Little Green House."
The best memories haunt me. I found mistakes that we're flaunting. So tell me, I beg you one last time as a friend. I'm doing it here, and why does this have to end? Feeling something's leaving, but I can't change what's happening. You said your life is just sinking, no one's to blame. We both have changed. I'm crying, sucking up to missing you. You were trying to be when I was close to you. So is it me? Am I causing the worst of you? Come on, man. You have everything to prove. Feeling something's leaving, but I can't change what's happening. You said your life is just sinking, no one's to blame. We both have changed.
All right, so that was another one. That was Your One Way Street by Anxious on their album Little Green House. I highly recommend you go off and get this album. I love it. Again, I've thrown this on my record player multiple times. Just let it play through. I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. So I can't say much more. Go and get this album. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, finally, The Future. Now, again, the future is normally something that is coming down the line, maybe something that I've pre-ordered, something that I'm looking forward to. And so I was like, you know what? It's been a while since since I ordered Knuckle Puck. It still hasn't come in. I'm looking forward to it. So I put it in here as The Future. And lo and behold, the day before this recording, so yesterday for me, the day before this recording, it came in the mail. I was like, and I was anticipating it because it was supposed to come out in February, and it kept getting pushed back. There's a backlog of vinyl production. A lot of us like to blame Adele, right? But there was a fire. There was a vinyl production facility that burned down like at the early ages of the pandemic, and a lot of vinyl production. And vinyl has been booming during the pandemic and all that stuff. So everything, gets a little pushed back a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. But it finally came out. So I'm going to call this The Future Is Now. And The Future Is Now for Knuckle Puck, Disposable Life. Now, this is an EP. There are 5 songs on this album, and it is 15 minutes long. So, it's a blink and you'll miss it experience. It goes by super quick. But you know what? We talked about an album last week by Joyce Manor, 40 Ounces to Fresno. That is officially an LP. That's an album, but it is only 16 minutes. So this 5-song EP is 1 minute less than a 9-song album by Joyce Manor. So, you know, it's still, you know, a good listen. And when I'm listening to this, I'm like, oh, what song should I play? I'm going to play the leading track off of this album. And this song is pretty good, pretty catchy. But it is a pop punk song. So here we go. Let's take a listen. Gasoline by Knuckle Puck off of their album Disposable Life.
We've all been forced full of lies. Each bullet bears against the truth. All told we're free to choose, but all thoughts get drowned out in the noise. And they'll say we're just young and paranoid, while making trades behind our backs. With every day spent in the shade, think I'll watch it burn. Throw gasoline on an open flame. Sit back and wonder who's to blame. Just can't stand the same damn endless routine. 'Cause it's all gonna lead to a disposable life. It's about time we saw more than half the truth, but now it's too late to cut me loose. So push out the walls till the ceiling falls, while I stare up into the void. Because lately we're both spun around, wrapped up in plastic, no solid ground. Here left to stand on. Can't you feel us suffocating? Just can't stand the same damn endless routine. Do you feel me through the black fog? It's out of hand, always running on pure anxiety. And it's all gonna lead to a disposable life. Lost boys or sore back, think I could live with that. Lost boys or sore back, think I could live with that. Lost boys or sore back, think I could live with that. Lost boys or sore back, think I could live with that. Yeah, I could live with that. Think I could live with that.
All right, and that song is pretty good. I mean, it hits you. It's fast. It's going. Definitely pop punk. But you know, nothing's wrong with that, right? You know, to me, pop punk it just brings me back to the early 2000s, right when I graduated high school. You know, Simple Plan and Sum 41. Just great. It brings back fond memories. This is something I would definitely listen to back then. So it's definitely something I'm listening to now. And this pressing comes off of Wax Bodega. Really cool, a really cool label. They have really great options. I love, and I'm gonna show you this really quick. I love on these Wax Bodega opportunities here. I love that it actually tells you the different variants right up here, and how many of each variant, right? I know you can check that off Discogs, but to have it right here on your label, I think is pretty cool. And this version right here is from Newberry Comics. Really cool place to get colored vinyl variants that they have there. They have some really cool things as well. And this variant right here is violet and white marble. I would say it's more of a lilac, but it's really good. A really cool pressing. Really solid pressing as well. So kudos, Knuckle Puck. That is, it's a great listen all the way through. Again, it's a fast listen, but it's a really good listen. Those are our past, present, and futures with Confidence, Better Weather, Anxious, Little Greenhouse, and Knuckle Puck, Disposable Life. Again, I will only play and showcase albums that I own, and I only buy albums that I listen to. And so I love to share these off with you. Now, last week, we had a little audience participation activity, and we're going to continue that. I think I might do it once a month or maybe every other week. We'll make a new one. So we're going to continue with our vinyl vestibule. What is that? That is, I want you to show off how you store and display your vinyl. Now, I know the word vestibule means like the corridor to, or how you get to somewhere. I understand that, but I'm saying vestibule as the entrance to your vinyl collection. How do you display it? How is it perceived by others? Is it out in the open? Is it in a closet? How is it displayed? So I'd love for you take a video or share an image and just use the hashtag #VeryVinyl to display your vinyl vestibule. I will be posting images and videos of mine, and I would love to see how you showcase yours. So until next time, keep that vinyl spinning, keep that turntable hot, and just keep on listening to music the way it was meant to be heard, and that is from the amazing spin of a needle. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day.